حلو
Hello.
قوي 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 على اللي بتعمليه حضرتك ده. ميرسي جدا جدا جدا.
الله يخليك. يا
ميرسي
رب إن
قوي.
شاء الله يعني نستفيد بإذن الله. النهاردة هيكون بس just an introduction,
Sure.
diagnostic, like trying to understand like everyone's need, like kind of needs analysis.
Sure. يلا. Hello everyone.
Hi, how are you?
Good, you? How are you
Fine,
doing?
alhamdulillah.
Okay.
You're welcome. ازيك يا هند؟ Can you open your camera?
لو يا اماني ازيك يا حبيبتي.
ازيك يا جميلة، عاملة ايه؟
الحمد لله، ثانك يو سو ماتش. والله شوفي انت جمعتي مصر كلها،
اه
مصر
والله.
كلها جايه تسمع.
طب
ميرسي يا
كويس.
حبيبتي، وحشتينا وحشتينا.
والله وانتي جميلة.
فين ما بتجيش مصر؟ فين اين انت؟
هاجي والله، هنزل ان شاء الله، بس
يا
يعني
ريت نشوفك قريب.
ان شاء الله. انا
ان
كنت
شاء
في
الله يا حبيبتي.
international وكنا عاملين paper, we were presenting a paper.
اه.
للاسف يعني فيه ناس قالت طيب كنت انتي كملتي بازاي ندرس بالاي اي، لان احنا كنا عاملينها Gen AI, second language writing and culturally relevant pedagogy.
جميل.
فقلت طيب طب ما ابدا ان نقول ازاي ندرس بالاي اي، لان انا درست حاجات كتيره جدا بالاي اي مش بس language learning. يعني درست
اوكي.
كده فقلت طيب يعني why not.
كتر خيرك، جميل. طبعا احنا كلنا بنجتهد، بس
آه.
عايزين بقى الاكسبرتيز. احنا بنجتهد يعني.
والله وانا مش يعني، بس انا يعني I started to guide my students، يعني حتى my dissertation عن ال AI. مش بس ال AI chat GPT، ده عن ال AI اللي هو ال multimodal AI،
مهم.
هو
اه.
زي الهولوجرام. ف
اوكي.
my students sometimes they stay until 10 p.m. like the class ends at 9 something and they ask to stay to use AI لأنه السوفت وير اللي أنا بستخدمه very expensive like
اه.
$1,000. الهاردوير اللي أنا بستخدمه
اوكي.
my study is very expensive، فطبعا they ask to stay.
مم.
آه، ومنهم مصريين،
حلو قوي.
منهم طلبة مصريين أنا بعملها في ال job interview skills. ففي بيبقى عندهم job interviews فالأسبان أو العرب فبيطلبوا إن هم يستخدموه، يعني أحسن من شات جي بي تي بكتير.
اوكي. حلو قوي.
It's
اوكي.
a large language model that's really really good. ف
جميل. all the best.
yeah, thank you. I think we have oh, there's someone in the waiting room. Okay, so I'm gonna start. So I created a PowerPoint just to make everything structured. Um, um, where's that file? Okay. um, okay, so hi everyone. I think it's recorded. I started recording. Um, so I think I should like do everything in English because I've been in the US for more than 10 years and it's easily for me to do it in English. Um, although I only speak to my kids in Arabic so that they can, you know, still speak in it's really hard here in even in New York. Um, so please type in the chat box where you're from. I think everybody, most people are from Egypt, but I've had also others from Palestine and Jordan who wanted to join. Please type in the chat box where you're from and why you're interested in the course. Okay. Yeah. Egypt. So yeah, why you're interested? Like, what are your goals? I think it's recorded. Oh, um, oh my, stop recording this. I'm recording, yeah. Apply it with my students to improve my skills how to teach by using AI. I'm from Sudan. أهلا بيكي. But I have been living in Egypt for 25 years. ما شاء الله. والله أحسن ناس. أنا اشتغلت مع السودانيين. ما شاء الله جمال. جمال ما شاء الله
Thank
عليكم.
you so much.
You're
You're so
welcome.
kind.
الله يخليك. لا والله انتوا very kind. أنا اشتغلت مع دكتورة في السعودية ما شاء الله.
ما شاء
I'm
الله.
from Egypt. I'm sorry from Egypt. I want to skip having to click allow recording for every meeting. Okay, I'm sure. I'm from Egypt. I'm really interested in improving my digital skills to be able to help my learners doing so well. Yeah, very good. Yeah, anyone else? To learn how to teach English online using AI. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Okay, so who am I? I just wrote a brief bio. So I have a master's degree from AUC, the American University in Cairo. And the other one is from Columbia University Teachers College, but it's in instructional technology. And my thesis, we don't call it thesis, we call it an integrative project. I also asked other programs, they also call it integrative project. They don't call it a thesis, but it's a thesis. Like it's like a thesis, but our thesis is more of a thesis and design template, what design documents like Figma. يعني we just write the thesis, but also we attach to it either whether like something that relates to design, a design element. So it could be a prototype, it could be Figma, wireframe. So we also study like a few courses. We study UX design and stuff like that. Okay, so also I'm a doctoral candidate in the same university, Columbia Teachers College. I'm also doing instructional technology in multimodal artificial intelligence. So I'm comparing embodied conversational AI, like you put on goggles or headset, and then you see someone in your room, like you can see your room or your classroom, but you can also see someone there, but nobody else can see it. Otherwise, like other people who are wearing the same headset can see that person. So that person is the teaching assistant. And this is the future of AI, embodied conversational AI. And so I'm comparing this with ChatGPT and then traditional teaching methods. Yeah, and I have really great results. And I teach MA students in Germany conversational AI, and I also teach here in the US virtual reality. But for the sake of my dissertation, I also teach second language learning. And I'm an award-winning designer, and also I'm a recognized expert in conversational AI, especially intelligent tutors. So some people usually invite me to talk about that. And I'm also a Udemy instructor. So welcome everyone. And I hope that it can be more of a interactive session than just me talking. Um, okay. That's my professional skills. Okay. Yeah, so Okay, so I'd like you now also to share your expectations for this course in the chat box. Like, I'd like to hear your thoughts. So it's not just, I don't want something general. I just want something specific. Like, what exactly do you want to come out of this course? Speaking, how to teach speaking, how to teach listening, maybe generate images. For me, I don't like Midjourney or DALI 2, but I like other applications, other AI applications. Yeah, so what are specific needs that you're looking for to learn from this course? Because needs analysis is very important. Because it makes me align the course with your needs. And I would align it especially to those who came here to this session. Yeah. Okay. So please write in the chat box, what are your expectations? What are you looking for? This is actually user research. We call it user research or needs assessment in language learning. What are your needs? And sometimes, because I know I've been doing user research for many years and also teaching, sometimes we don't know what we want, but that's fine. And maybe you can drop in the chat box what other tools you use for AI, so I can know like your prior knowledge of artificial intelligence. Okay. Only ChatGPT. I'm a health researcher. I'm looking for the intersection and applicability in the healthcare domain. Fatma, I have no idea about the healthcare domain. I teach language learning, virtual reality, and and conversation design. So yeah, I have no idea. And I also shared that on Facebook that it's only for language educators. Actually, knowing about opportunities and the facilities offered by AI is essential to all of us. I try to help my students use AI tools in a smart and ethical manner. Yeah. Simply is explore AI tools for research. Oh, okay. I can talk about research also. So what tools do you know in terms of research, Hind? I'd like to use embodied assistants in my online classes. That could be another course. Embodied AI assistants. That could be another course. But I can touch upon that because that's a whole like it's like it can't be just like touching upon embodied AI assistance. It has to be a course because you have to actually intervene in the design. Unfortunately, I need because and also you need to use API keys, which means that you have to pay for it. So there is Pandora bot. There's also Soul machines, but you need to pay for them at least. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a whole lot of like at least $20, but no, more than this. Like 30, between 30 to $50. I need to know more about how to use more AI. Yeah, for which skill? I believe it would have been impossible for me to finalize my MED without the help of AI. Yeah, but I hope you didn't copy. Yeah, it's really a problem here in the US. Like some students were kicked out of their schools because of AI. Yeah, I'm a science teacher. This course will help me more effectively for students are extends to facilitate lesson and be more sociable, not afraid from. Okay, Quilt. Okay, ChatDoc, Neometa, and other tools that render reading process easier for students. Yeah. Oh, I think Quillbot. Oh, okay, Quillbot. Yeah, Quillbot is very famous, even outside the US. I use ChatGPT now. Oh yeah, I also use DeepSeek. Yeah, but yeah, so DeepSeek is good, way better than ChatGPT, but also there are other aspects in ChatGPT that are way, way better than DeepSeek. Read theory, speaking in particular, ChatGPT, Padlet. Yeah, but Padlet, okay, Padlet, yeah, is a good app. Um, I'd love to create an app, if that's possible, to help learners of English as a second language practice English more. What do you mean, Nada, by creating an app? Do you have programming skills? There are some applications that can help you create applications. I didn't copy. I mean the tools like Mendeley. Oh yeah, yes. Why is ChatGPT better than DeepSeek? Um, I'll tell you maybe in the next class. It's not ChatGPT. It's something in ChatGPT that makes it better than DeepSeek. And also the same thing was applied to I'm not sure if you know Hugging Face. Uh, I'm not sure if you know Hugging Face. Hugging Face is a free application. So they also have AI agents, AI agents that has the same function as something in ChatGPT. And I know I'm usually shocked when I ask people about this function and they don't know what that function is, which is weird. Like I've been using it for 2 years. I have some, and even Sam Altman was fired after this feature, and then they got him back. So everybody probably was like talking more about Sam Altman getting fired at OpenAI, but actually the event was about this feature. I just have some basic knowledge of programming, not a professional yet. Yeah, you can check Vibe. I'm not sure if you heard of it. Vibe programming. I actually published a paper about programming with C Sharp with my students. I teach C Sharp and I teach Unity. So I'm not sure if you know this program. It's for game design. So we published a paper together about developing games with AI, and it was well received by many professors at the IEEE conference. Okay, great, great. Okay, so what is? Oh, I actually wanted to put the question by itself and the answer, but anyways. So generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that can create new content. So do you know how generative AI creates the content? Do you know how Gen AI creates the content? It actually uses statistics. It uses statistics. So it's like the most possible um, word that can co-occur with the previous word. So in the past, um, artificial intelligence like used to be based on a corpus. I don't want to go into technicalities, but in the past, so before the GPT, which was actually probably in 2020, 2019, actually OpenAI started the GPTs, which is the transformers. So it was a new technology after Google published a paper. It's called Attention is All You Need. You can look at this paper. And attention is actually a model, is a statistical model. And so they started their GPTs. And then what you do is actually you type a word, and then it predicts which word highly statistically can come after this word. And that's it. This is how, and that's why you see AI as a pattern. And that's also why some companies try to create plagiarism detectors so that they can detect plagiarism using what they understand about the statistical model behind artificial intelligence. But the problem is they are not accurate and they discriminate against non-native speakers because we, as native speakers, many of us, we kind of follow a specific pattern. And so AI also follows a specific pattern. And so sometimes many professors in the US, unfortunately, they use the AI detectors and then they give students zeros and so on. But our course, we're trying to understand how AI works and how we control AI instead of relying passively on AI. And at the same time, how to cultivate a classroom that's more of a critical thinking classroom and where we encourage students to use AI ethically than actually rely heavily on artificial intelligence. Have been teaching AI to my students, whether master's students or second language learning students, and I've been teaching them how to use it responsibly and ethically. I hope that they learn, but I don't know. Like sometimes I'm like, no, don't just you copy and paste the result. Read it and then see if it works for you. Because by doing so, you also know if you're meeting the learning outcomes, which is very important. Okay. So does anyone know these? I think many people know Siri. How did you communicate in the past with AI? Do you know Siri? You can write in the chat box. Siri, yeah. So how do you communicate with the Siri? I usually communicate with Alexa. Okay, it's good that she didn't talk. In Alexa, for example, I'm looking at Alexa because I don't want her to talk. In Alexa, for example, we usually say the wake word. So Alexa is the wake word. And then there are other words because she's listening, for example. And so you need to learn the language of AI. Okay? You need to understand the language of AI. And so I think in Siri, you say, hey Siri, or hey, also in Google, you say, hey Google. In Alexa, you just say, Alexa. Oh, she's listening now. And then you say a wake word. Tell me a horror story. Okay? Or give me a horror story. So these also are function words so that Alexa, in its programming, it has the word give me, which means that this is you're calling a function in Alexa or you're calling a program in Alexa and Alexa understands and then it brings this program. Sure, how to help you with that. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you. Okay, and so um, it's the same thing when you open your iPhone and then you look for a program in Apple Store in App Store, and then you look for it. So if you want Alexa to do this, you just say, give me, and so on. So we need to learn the language of AI. It's not just artificial, and it's like it's created in a way the same as when we learn programming. You have to understand the programming language. And so, why? So how do we communicate with Gen AI? So unfortunately, Gen AI was not made for education. Okay, so when you communicate with Gen AI, if you don't understand prompting, this means that you won't get what you want. And there is a concept in programming which is called, I'm not sure if you know that, garbage in, garbage out. So there is a concept in programming that's called garbage in, garbage out. So if your prompt is weak, your the AI output will be weak. So it's our fault. It's not AI's fault, unless there is something in the back end that control it, like bad programming or something. So have you heard of prompting? Can someone tell me what is prompting?
So it's actually the order that you give, to say it like that. So kind of what I need, and I rephrase it in the language that the application or the AI itself understands. So it needs to be specific and to the point to get
Yes.
what I actually need.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. So the prompt is the input that you give to AI, and it has to follow specific rules like contextualized, um, specific. You can also give an example so that AI can follow. You can also give it a role like act as an ESL educator who is an expert in speaking skills. Generate an activity that, and we're gonna learn more about this. Thank you so much. Okay, so it's the art of designing clear, effective instructions to guide generative AI tools to provide to produce desired output. It involves choosing the right word, structure, and context to get the best results from AI models like ChatGPT, Gemini, or DALL-E 2. Okay, so because I'm an AI researcher in the first place, it usually makes me happy to talk about AI before GPTs and AI after GPTs, just to tell you how people were like suffering actually from. I'm not sure if you know Tutor Mike, or have you heard of Eliza? Because we usually, when we talk about the history of artificial intelligence, especially conversational AI, the first thing that anyone talks about is Eliza. So Eliza was a very famous chatbot, an old chatbot that worked according to a specific pattern. It's called pattern matching. But there were actually problems. So, um, in a nutshell, I don't want to go through all of this, but AI in the past, where especially for education, you can't align it with curriculum goals or learning outcomes. Um, the answers were very fixed. So it's really hard for you to anticipate what learners would say so that the AI chatbot would figure out how to answer. Sometimes it would rely on a very small corpus. Now it's a very, very big corpus. So yeah, I mean it's really a breakthrough. So what are problems we face as educators with Gen AI? So what are some of the problems that you encounter? You can drop in the chat box so that I would love to have a lot of perspectives. So please drop in the chat box, okay? Oh, um, academic integrity. Yeah, that's a big problem. Have the same essay. Can you explain more about that, Heba? Most of the students have the same essay. Do you mean that they put the prompt, it generates the essay, and then they copy and paste it, right? Or what do you mean? Oh, okay. Yeah, but does the essay follow the same structure in the rubric? I don't think they are smart enough to do that. Yeah, plagiarism. Yeah, I know. I faced some lagging and technical problems. Okay. Yeah, that could be an internet issue. Yeah, so I think academic integrity. Okay. Academic integrity and plagiarism is the main issue. I'm not sure if it's the main issue because only 2 people out of 12. Um, Okay. Yeah, so I think there is a way, and this is what we proposed in our paper. And this is what I actually do because my students know that I can detect artificial intelligence without even going to. I don't trust plagiarism detectors, but I have worked on solutions for this. Okay. Um, okay, so this is just a scenario. You're designing an ESL lesson on the past tense. You find yourself asking, should I just give them grammar drills? What if they copy answers from ChatGPT? How can I make the lesson engaging and meaningful? Also, yeah, I mean, copying was also a main issue. Uh, and you sometimes can find that if you don't master prompting, um, your task might not align with the learning goals, and teachers lack a clear structure for designing prompts that work. I have so just to tell you something, you are the master of the ceremony, like one of my colleagues used to say. Um, Even if AI generated something that you didn't like, instead of continuing to correct it, you can actually go back to the first prompt that you created and then fine tune it, and then give examples. And this is what I do. I usually I also generate not lesson plans, activities for my students who do virtual reality. It's really hard for artificial intelligence to create an activity for somebody who is studying virtual reality, because virtual reality has to do with the spatial technology which ChatGPT can't understand. And so I usually interfere and then tell ChatGPT, you have to design the activity this way. So I don't have time to design a one pager. And so I give it some ideas and then it gives me a very engaging activity that my students always appreciate my activities in the classroom, like design activities with Figma and all of these things. And so I'm the one who decides this. And also in my second language learning classes. Okay, so what do we need? So what do you think an educator needs in the first place so that they can design a good prompt?
I think
So
they need
some
to know how to script a good prompt.
how? Like what do they need first before using AI? What knowledge? What prior knowledge? Not it it doesn't necessarily have to be technology. I mean, technology is part of it, but when it comes to writing a script, what an educator needs first? What knowledge do they need first so that they can write a good prompt?
I'm not sure if it's right or wrong.
Fine.
Maybe writing skills.
Writing skills, okay?
Okay.
Writing skills can be part of that. What else? Oh, I have messages. Specific learning goals. Yeah, okay, great. What it can offer and how to ask. What it can offer myriads of things, many things. You are the one who controls it. Knowing what it can offer. Yeah, specific learning goals. Okay. So we're going to talk about something that's really essential. So I am a person who comes from like I'm not a I've been training teachers to use technology for 20 years, okay? And I'm not a technology enthusiast at all, but I'm well informed about technology. And so pedagogy for me comes first, and the student needs. And I'm not sure if you know about entangled pedagogy. I really recommend reading about entangled pedagogy because this approach talks about okay, is pedagogy first? Is technology first? And then entangled pedagogy is well, okay, so forget about all of these arguments. We need to understand the issue, the problem. We need to understand student needs, school policy, accessibility. There are many issues around technology and pedagogy. So entangled pedagogy is a very important paper that I usually I like to visit it every now and then. So pedagogy is very important. Having a classroom that is student centered is very important. Ethical and AI aware design and flexibility for different contexts, skills, and learner types. That's for me, that's very important. So, and also there's something that I forgot to put, but I think it should fall under engaging, which is critical thinking. Because actually, um, if we empower students to be critical thinkers, I don't think that and also responsible users of AI, I don't think that we would worry about uh, plagiarism and but we have to control it. We have to control it. So we have to use the right pedagogical frameworks and the right instructions so that we can encourage students to have critical thinking. And yeah, so projects-based learning, inquiry-based learning, and so on. Okay, I think we went through this. So I just want to show you. Do you know this framework, TPAC? Have you heard of? I think many people know this framework. Can you just put yes or no? It's fine if you don't know it. There are also other frameworks. This recording we're joining through. Oh, through Google? I don't think I generated Google. Yeah, sure. You can yeah, sure. Okay, great. So how many people don't know? If you know it, just put yes. If you don't put yes, I will consider that everybody doesn't know TPAC. So TPAC framework is a framework for education, and it's technological, pedagogical content knowledge. It's very, very well researched, very well known by Mishra and Kohler. They are professors. I don't remember, but they are professors in an American university. And it's about that if you're going to teach, the first thing that you need to know is, of course, the content. So you need to speak English, um, and you have studied linguistics, for example, or applied linguistics or TESOL. You also need to understand the pedagogical frameworks like TBLT, CLIL, or whatever, and know how to apply them, because this is a problem in research that many teachers know, for example, TBLT, but they don't know how to apply them, or they rely heavily on technology and then technological knowledge. So these all intersect. And so if you have this knowledge, you will be able to craft a good prompt. Okay, but I'll make it easy for you. I actually have created a framework for a prompt with a template, and we can test it today, and you can share your screens and show me what you have created. So yeah, so Task Builder is a framework to help you design powerful student-centered ESL prompts that align with teaching goals and 21st century realities, so it can create lesson planning and activities. So T is for target profile, so CEFR level, age group, for example. So it's very important to tell ChatGPT or DeepSeek what level the students are in, because I've also seen many educators do that in conferences. So if they and sometimes you can also write beginners. So ChatGPT will understand that it's for a beginner level, level A1. Sometimes ChatGPT may not understand A1 or A2. So maybe you can give more context to this so that ChatGPT can understand. The aim. So these are the learning outcomes. For example, narrate past events, public speaking, provide a presentation where students can talk about past events, my last vacation, and so on. Skill type, that's also very important. Speaking, writing, listening, or reading. Of course, grammar or vocabulary. Knowledge focus. So what is the knowledge focus? Is it grammar? Is it vocabulary, language functions? Um, background theme, topic, context, user engagement. Well, it should be learner engagement, but I couldn't find yeah, I couldn't like find I wanted to coin something. So user engagement, that's the learner. So are you raising your their curiosity using inquiry-based learning, for example, problem solving, personal voice like argumentative essay or some or persuasive essay, inclusivity and access. Well, I'm using inclusivity because this can involve differentiated instruction, accessibility in terms of technology. Even in the US, sometimes we have areas that students don't have access to the internet, unfortunately. Yeah, and also neurodivergent students like ADHD, autism, language, so describing,
أيوة
comparing,
معاك.
analyzing. Okay. Um, differentiation, ethics and culture. Yeah, so I think you know that ChatGPT can be biased, right? Do you know that ChatGPT can be biased against certain people or may
Yeah.
not like
أيوة سمر سامعاكي انتي موجودة.
um, are you talking to me or okay. Ethics and culture. Yeah, I mean, I added this because every culture has its own like ethical views. Like if you talk to ChatGPT and they know that you are of a particular religion, they actually align the responses to your religion, or they think of a specific culture. They would do this sometimes. Sometimes there are some cultural nuances that ChatGPT. Yeah, so the E is very important. Ethics and culture. There are lots of studies that say that ChatGPT can sometimes fail to recognize some cultural nuances, and so you have to give ChatGPT lots of examples so that it can understand the culture. Response format, is it written, spoken? The response format is not for ChatGPT. The response format is for the students. So ChatGPT would create an activity where the response format for the students should be written, spoken, visual, like they can create an image or something. And of course, it includes creativity and critical thinking, encourages students' originality, and avoids copying. Okay. So, I'm gonna show you the template, but do you have any questions? I'm gonna pause here. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. Mm, sorry. If I- No questions? Oh, okay, sorry. Um, so what do you think? Yeah, what do you think so far? Like, do you think that you feel like you're benefiting from what we have started, or you feel like maybe you needed to be more specific, or what? Because it's in the next session we're going to talk about some examples, including research. So I've actually benefited from some AI tools for research. I'm also going to talk about it because I know that some people teach research as well for ESL students. So please type in the chat box like what you think so far. Um,
I have a question. The session of today is a theoretical one, and the next following session will be practical.
no, actually, the first three are mainly showing you tools, and then you can test these tools. And
Oh,
then
okay.
I'm gonna tell you that you should start thinking of a problem that you have in class, and based on this problem, what tool you would use, and maybe you can show us something in the last one. Uh, Yeah, okay. WhatsApp group? Um, yeah, I think I can do WhatsApp group. So, who can volunteer to start a WhatsApp group? Uh, and then I can be an admin because, yeah, can I depend on ChatGPT to learn English, or can I trust? Oh, no, you can't. You can't depend on ChatGPT to learn English. Um, yeah, the problem is, so if you want to learn speaking skills, yes, but you need to learn from people, even if they are non-native speakers, because like I've actually tried ChatGPT in learning French, and I felt very skeptical. I felt very skeptical, and I actually resorted back to learning from the internet. ChatGPT. So you as a learner, you don't know um, like you don't know how the prompts, the right prompts to make ChatGPT teach you like a person. Okay, and this is one of the challenges in research, pedagogical skills for AI. And this is what big companies are trying to do. Classroom later, inshallah. Google Classroom? No, I don't like Google Classroom. I use the Canvas in the university, and I'm really I don't feel comfortable with Google Classroom. Abroad. But if you want, I can actually upload these recordings on Udemy. Udemy is really great. It's way better than Google Classroom. It'd be great to have a can. Oh, I don't have access to a free Canva, but I have access to Udemy, so maybe we can have Udemy. So I can post this for a free course on Udemy. Okay, so this is a plug and play template to help you generate your own ESL prompt. Okay, so this is one of the prompts that I use. Design a student-centered ESL, and then you need to specify the activity. So is it a speaking skill, a speaking activity that engages learners in using? So you need to specify past tense, present, research, literature review, okay, and then you specify the pedagogical approach. Is it inquiry-based learning, storytelling, um, pre yeah, whatever. Develop a task that encourages students to, and then describe the learner role. like generate their own questions. So sometimes when we do readings, we ask the students to generate their own questions or a debate, compare and contrast, related to, and then you relate it to a topic. And then the activity should end with a creative and communicative. So specify the final product. So sometimes we ask students to write podcasts. So sorry, not to write, to do podcasts, presentations, dialogues, allowing students to demonstrate understanding in context. Okay. And then, of course, you need to specify the CFR level, group size. So whether is it group work or pair work, whether it's a game or just an activity, media tools, are they going to use PowerPoint? Time, so you can also generate, like ask it to generate like the time, or I don't usually do that. I ask it, I say, I type 30 minutes or 20 minutes. Cultural constraints, because I teach in the US, so I need to be aware of, like I need to make it aware, and then I review the result of the prompt. So I don't totally rely on ChatGPT. Okay, so this is an example. Design a student-centered speaking activity that engages learners in using the past simple and past continuous through inquiry-based learning. I actually, yeah, so it's like you know what you want to do, okay? And then you ask ChatGPT to do it. But sometimes we don't know, like sometimes you're overwhelmed and you don't know what to do with the students, what type of activity. So you can actually ask ChatGPT, well, I'm teaching this, and I want the students by the end of this class to do this, and it's better to explain it like not just the hard um, like when we write the by the end of this class the students will be able to, and then you write 3 or 4 objectives. Sometimes ChatGPT is not an ESL educator, so you need to give examples. Okay. Generate an activity or generate a lesson plan that will enable me to that will enable the students to meet the learning outcomes. This is something that I also use if I am not sure about what I want the students to do. And so it's kind of a teaching assistant that helps me decide on the type of tools or type of activities that I want for my students. And sometimes because ChatGPT talks a lot, I just say be concise or be brief, and just give me a list of activities first, no explanation. And then I look at the activities, and then I choose one. And then I'm like, okay, so I chose this activity, but I want the students to do this and this and that. And I want it to be a game and so on. So, and this is how I use ChatGPT. And it really, like, I teach at LaGuardia Community College, and I have to submit 3 lesson plans every week. So it's a continuing program, and they go by lesson planning. And so I do that in less than 30 minutes. I know what I'm going to teach. I know the learning objectives, and sometimes I just tell ChatGPT, I want the students to learn. So by the end of this class, I want them to learn count and non-count nouns. I want them to debate. I want them this and that. Okay, now generate. It's just a small paragraph that I want ChatGPT to build a whole lesson plan, and nobody has ever questioned. Like even I teach in many other places. I also built a whole course, but for technical like MA students, and everybody who see this course, I'm like, wow. And I actually got the syllabus 2 days before the class. Like a professor left, and I had to teach this class. I know nothing about the syllabus, and they gave me a general one of a small page, have like a paragraph, and they asked me to teach. And so I used not only ChatGPT, I used other tools to generate the course outline, the PowerPoint, the activities for my students, and they were very extremely engaged in my classes. And so if you know like the content and the pedagogy, it's gonna be, and also how to deal with the technology, it's gonna be very easy for you. So this is an example, and I'm gonna show you. It's just a very simple. I can also show you. Sorry. Um, I can also this. So this is a very simple lesson plan. Let me show you something, but I'm not sure if I should share my screen because it's a property for LaGuardia. So I'll just show you something. It's my lesson plans for LaGuardia. Where spaces? Yeah, I think you can see it. So I worked in this program because I wanted to do more studies. Yeah, I think I should stop sharing. Just want to show you something. Okay, so structure and then logs. Some logs. Mm, okay, winter. Okay, so this is the CALP program at LaGuardia. And these are the, yeah. So these are like each week we teach for 3 days. All of this was generated by ChatGPT, but of course with my guidance. So learn lesson objectives, the topic. So we teach something that relates to immigrants, and then warm-up activities, prediction. So I asked ChatGPT, I want prediction questions. I want group discussion. So this is like Tuesday class. I want the students to do this, but I just wrote a very small paragraph, a very short paragraph. And reflection. So yeah, so I follow TBLT, okay, task-based language teaching. So I asked ChatGPT to create the activities, the lesson plans following TBLT. So I establish a prompt that's very comprehensive that tells ChatGPT exactly what I want. And then I also asked it to give examples for students and how they would go about the presentations, how I would wrap up and reflect on the lessons, and so on. So it's very important that you know what you want first. You understand the pedagogy. So there are lots of pedagogical frameworks or teaching methods in second language learning. And so communicative language teaching, there's also total physical response, whatever. There are lots of things that actually total physical response is used in New York, specifically in New York. So many educators use it with second language educators. So sometimes if I want to design something, I would ask ChatGPT, well, give me something that has to do with total physical response, for example. And I give it an example so that ChatGPT doesn't um give me something crazy. Like give me something that I really don't want. So, any questions? Any questions so far? So you're gonna practice that, and we'll see what you will come up with. So I'm gonna. So this is like a template. Oh. So you can copy this and then play with it. So last year I was invited as a keynote speaker, and everybody in the university was asking me about latest innovations in artificial intelligence and if it's a game changer. And I was like, well, invite someone else maybe, because I don't believe in AI. I actually believe in humans. And so my keynote was about the humans as the game changers, not AI, because actually humans who created AI. And so if you want to use AI, we actually need to be control of it instead of it be control of us. And so in the next um, few weeks, we're going to learn about also some tools, not just ChatGPT. ChatGPT is one of the tools. Some of the tools are actually taking APIs from ChatGPT. Others have created their own large language model. So we're going to learn some tools and some tricks in terms of like how to use artificial intelligence. But one of the things that we need to discuss is academic integrity. And I believe that if we follow innovative pedagogical approaches, and also understanding students' perspective, like here in the US, it's different. When people come to the US, they're mostly probably high school or above, and many of them work, and they take ESL classes. Some of them actually were born in the US, but their English language is very weak because of the family, like the family and the neighborhood. They speak Spanish, for example, and so they join ESL classes. And so understanding anxiety and the students' perspective sometimes can actually help. And at the same time, teaching students that this won't help you is very effective, actually. So I'd like you to use the prompt and then share it with me. Like you can also share your screen. I didn't allow sharing yet, but if you want, you can ask me and then I can allow sharing the screen. So it might not work first time. It's an iterative process, but that's fine. But I'm an avid user of AI and I know how to use it for my advantage. I don't use it for research. Like I don't use ChatGPT in terms of because it's really in the US, like it's really hard. Like if you like I don't even copy and paste anything of my work or my research, but I can use it for grammar to suggest a better word, for example, or a better explanation. Statistical analysis, if you are doing your dissertation or research, I have something really great for you. It does the statistical analysis, but maybe in another session. Um, yeah, but at least you need to talk with someone who is very good in statistical analysis first, and then use AI. So you get feedback from someone, a person, and then once you know the right statistical analysis for your research, you can go ahead and do it on this website.
Can you share the model, please? The model of the prompt?
I shared it. I shared it in the chat box.
Okay.
I shared it like 4 minutes ago.
I'm not sure about what should I write in the bar saying the activity should culminate in a, what should I write here?
I'll show you an example. So this is an example. So design a student-centered ESL. Oops. Then specify skill, speaking activity that engages learners in. What am I doing? Sorry.
No problem.
Design a student-centered ESL. So you specify the skill that engages learners in using. Oh, so I can share this prompt. Um, this is also an example. This is kind of an example. So this is a template. So this is a prompt. The first one was a prompt template. So design a student-centered speaking activity that help learners use. So you put past tense, for example, or argumentative essay through writing. Develop a task that encourages students to think creatively or critically, or use, or for example, use. So if we talk about argumentative essay, use proper refutations related to, and then you put uh, uh, like whatever, whatever aligns with your topic. So you also have, I also give you an example. So help you generate your own ESL prompt, design a student-centered ESL that engages learners. So specify grammar, vocabulary, language, and sometimes you can also put the words, the vocabulary words through, and then you can specify the pedagogical approach. And then you need to develop a task that encourages students to describe learner role, like generate their own questions, debate, and so on. And also you need to specify the CFR level. It's better to say beginner, intermediate, and also give some context. Um, Sometimes I use TOEFL proficiency chart. Do you know TOEFL proficiency charts? TOEFL proficiency charts, you can copy and paste the proficiency chart because it describes the skill, and then you can plug it in ChatGPT. So it will understand like what type of language you need. Okay. So, do you think you can do it, or maybe we can wait till next time and then ask everyone? Because next time I'm gonna show tools for reading and reading, reading what? Reading, listening, of course, including research and some like some advice for AI plagiarism, like how to encourage students to use AI responsibly. So this is what we are going to do next time, but it's going to be a Sunday. I have a training session on Saturday next time, so I won't be able to do Saturday. So it will be a Sunday, inshallah.
Can I share my screen?
Sorry?
Can I share my screen, or should
Yeah,
I wait till next time?
yeah, sure. Hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Have you ever adventure cards? Okay, design a student center that helps learners use the present perfect tense through a speaking lesson. Develop a task that encourages to talk related to life experiences. The activities should culminate in a creative and communicative dialogue, allowing students to apply the language creatively and meaningfully. Very good. Yeah, so can you show me the activity that it generated? Yeah. Okay. Can I see? Yeah, objective, use the present perfect to ask and answer questions about personal life experiences, foster creative conversation using guided prompts. Yeah. Can you walk us through it and tell us if you are satisfied? It's okay if you're not satisfied at the very beginning. You can. I usually go back to the original prompt and then tweak it.
Okay, this
So
is
what do you
the
think?
preparation stage. Um, you said that I should guide you through the
Yes.
result, right? Okay,
Mhm.
this is the preparation stage. Like asking questions, have you ever eaten something really strange or something? Then the procedure. Step 1, divide the students.
Mm.
Students A, pick a card. Have you ever? The other 3, answer honestly using the perfect tense. Yes, I have eaten something strange. Blah, blah, blah. Following up questions. What was it like? Then creative dialogue challenge. In pairs with a group, student choose one fun have you ever question. They must include at least 2 uses of the present perfect tense to follow up. Have you ever ridden a camel? Yes, I have. Then a camel in the desert. And then the wrap up. That's something
Mm.
you have done but want to try.
Yeah, so what do you think of the output?
I think it's a well-organized activity with the stages and everything. So I'm satisfied with that.
Okay, great. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can tweak it a little bit with the because I put the pedagogical framework. So if you
Mhm,
just put TBLT, I'm not sure because I usually like do lots of work with ChatGPT. So ChatGPT knows TBLT, task-based language teaching, and so I usually type when I introduce something to ChatGPT, I type TBLT with the pre-task, during, and post-task. So it knows. So instead of procedure, it's actually the during task or the task.
mm,
So some people
mhm,
call it during, others call it task. And there is the warm-up activity instead of preparation. So
mhm.
yeah, but that's very good.
So
You
I
can
should
also,
know the different frameworks, right?
yes. So
Okay.
that's actually the success. That's what would make also your output successful if you understand how each framework works. And so you kind of you're creating a template for ChatGPT, but at the same time you're kind of guiding it because ChatGPT has vast knowledge. Imagine a person like even if I ask you like you are an expert in second language teaching, okay?
Mhm,
But what if I asked you about something that you learned when you were in high school? You might probably spend a few minutes trying to remember it, okay? Because
mhm,
this is not now your main expertise. And so ChatGPT is a very big, like large language model. And so and because it depends on its general knowledge, we need to be specific and give it context so that it can give us what we want. And
mhm,
that's probably why DeepSeek is more successful because it works differently. It doesn't depend on the general knowledge. It finds first from your context the keywords, and then it directs you to the knowledge base for whatever you're asking about. But ChatGPT is more successful in one thing that I didn't find in. Yeah, I like Claude. I like Claude also. Claude is very good, but I don't know. Like I feel like ChatGPT for me is better. I've been using ChatGPT. I used to pay for ChatGPT, but now I don't. Like I had to pay for it because I was teaching a course for the first time, and I took this course in my master's degree, but they didn't give me the course outline, so I didn't know like. And they said, you can create your own course. So you can create your own course outline. So I used my knowledge in this area, and I asked the students in the first class, and according to what they told me, I I combined this and I created. I also used a lots of research in creating my classes. So depending only on ChatGPT would not get you anywhere, but you have to be the expert who guides ChatGPT so that it can create something that you are satisfied with. Yeah, that's great. So uh, so next time, because I have to I have to leave. Next time, we're gonna do reading and listening. There are actually really awesome um, applications for reading and listening. I don't know like what to start with and what not to start with. Um, I'm just copying those who attended the names. Oops.
Will you send the PowerPoint and the recording of the session?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I'll send the PowerPoint and the recording, please. Thank you. Find the recording, please. Well, I need to close Zoom and then wait for a few minutes until, but I can share the recording tomorrow because I need to go. I have an appointment.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much, Nada.
The session is amazing. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you. No, you will be amazed more. I hopefully, because there are really, really amazing tools out there, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, like how many, like every day there is a new tool, and I've been reviewing a research paper on Elsevier, and I found out, so the research paper was about what researchers use, like what AI tools researchers use. And this was in Iraq and Turkey. So the research paper was conducted. I don't remember the location of the researchers, but I think they were in the Middle East. So the research papers were mostly from Iraqi and Turkish professors. And I was really startled to see that they use Quillbot and another tool, only these tools. And I reviewed this paper like 2 months ago, so it's not that far. And I was like, what about this and what about that? Like there are lots of tools for research. Quillbot is not a research tool. It's paraphrasing, summarizing. And so yeah, I mean we're gonna talk about some tools hopefully next week. And I think it's better for me to post this on Udemy. Oh, okay. So, um, yeah. So I think instead of sending the recording, yeah, I can send you the recording. I'll send you the recording, and then I'll also put it on Udemy as well. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
I
you.
hope for next time you can use this prompt and then show me, like once we start class, you can show me your prompt output and maybe your iterations. So I usually don't like to iterate. I like to use the original prompt or the original output, sorry, input, and then tweak it because I sometimes ChatGPT can be stupid. Like it will take the original prompt, it will assume that I also want what I want from the original prompt and it will add it. And sometimes I would say, well, I was hoping that you do this instead of that. And ChatGPT integrates it. So don't assume that the ChatGPT is intelligent. It's not intelligent, it's just a machine. It uses natural language processing, deep learning, and all of these statistical models to generate. So it doesn't understand. It just mimics human language. That's it. Okay, that's it. So thank you so much. I'll send the recordings tomorrow for those who only attended. So okay, and yeah, and see you next week.
Okay. See you next
Okay.
week.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too.